Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And first of all, Mr. Chairman, I want to make it clear that I very much share your views with respect to the Retirement Enhancement and Savings Act. Colleagues, I think it's the view of Chairman Grassley and I that this important bill should have become law eons ago. And I just look forward to working with you and all our colleagues, Mr. Chairman, to make it law. And I'm going to begin my remarks today with a quick word on Social Security, the foundation of retirement in America. According to the most recent trustees report, Social Security can pay full benefits until 2035. After that, retirees would be hit with a 20% cut. That means that a 50-year-old worker who's paid into Social Security out of every paycheck faces the prospect of not receiving the full benefits that he or she has earned. I want to be blunt about this morning. As long as I have anything to say about it, that cut is not going to happen. Not going to happen. Full stop. The Congress has solved fiscal challenges bigger than this one, and it's going to have to do it again. Furthermore, let's understand that no program has done more for Americans' economic well-being and stability than Social Security. The Congress must not do anything to undermine that foundation. Social Security is not a piggy bank for lawmakers to smash when they're looking for money for other priorities. Instead, it's critical to protect Social Security for all workers in the generations to come. Now to examining other areas where retirement needs strengthening. And again, Chairman Grassley is correct in saying that we've got good ideas coming in from both sides of the aisle. Across the country, more than 100 million Americans have no pension and no savings in a retirement plan. A dignified retirement is simply out of reach for many working Americans. There are a variety of ways, however, this committee can play a leading role in changing that. First, the committee worked on a bipartisan basis to put together the Retirement Enhancement and Savings Act. The bill is all about making it easier, particularly for small employers, to offer retirement plans to their employees. Give those small businesses an opportunity to band together, offer a common retirement plan. It's a simpler and more cost-effective way of helping more Americans from sea to shining sea to save. It ought to be easier for older Americans to save. And this is something that I felt strongly about since I was co-director of the Oregon Gray Panthers. I just think it's absurd to cut somebody off from saving just because they crossed an arbitrary age limit. In my judgment, changing this part of IRA law is a no-brainer. The chairman and I worked with our previous chairman, Chairman Hatch, to include this. I think it is a critically important part of the bill. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. There are a lot of older working-class folks who can't yet retire and want to keep saving. With so many families dealing with the consequences of the opioid epidemic, something I hear a lot of members on this committee talking about, I think of working grandparents who are supporting youngsters and want to keep saving. They ought to have that opportunity. That's going to be made possible by this retirement bill, and we need to get it across the finish line. In addition to RISA, there are other ideas to discuss. Yesterday, I introduced the Retirement Parody for Student Loans Act. It's based on a simple proposition. Somebody who's paying off student loans should not be denied the opportunity to save for retirement. The bill would allow employers to make matching payments into a retirement plan while the employee makes a student loan payment. The bottom line is whether you're paying off loans or building up a nest egg, you're making the right financial choices. You ought to be rewarded for it with an opportunity for more savings. Next, I want to close by saying we really want to welcome our State Treasurer, Tobias Reed. He is one of the innovative thinkers in this whole area, with Oregon leading the nation with the new auto-enrolled IRA program for people who don't have access to a retirement plan at work. Mr. Reed has been a pioneer in this. The program is called Oregon Saves. It went statewide in 2018, and hundreds of thousands of people in my home state are going to be able to save for the program, under the program, when it's fully up and running. I think we ought to be looking at what Mr. Reed is going to tell us today towards expanding the program nationally. Finally, we need to act, and this is something the chairman and I and many members have talked about, on multi-employer pensions. It's been a concern to many senators on both sides of the aisle, and there are 150 of these pension plans that face insolvency in the next decade or two. Upwards of 1 million Americans who could be literally thrown off the financial cliff. Worked hard, paid into their plans, face a crisis through no fault of their own, and the Congress cannot sit on the sidelines as those Americans, the ones that are walking on an economic tightrope with multi-employer pensions, are wondering whether they're going to fall into poverty. Thank you to all our witnesses. Mr. Chairman, we look forward to working with you.
Yeah.